All right, Fiona Anderson back with us from Business in Vancouver. Good morning, Fiona. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine, thanks.
Looking at an Insights West and Business of Vancouver poll.
Yes. So every 6 months, Insights West does a survey for us asking British Columbians what they think of the Liberal government. So this is our fourth since it's been 2 years since the government was elected. And we ask the same questions. And it does look like there's been a steady sort of decline in what British Columbians feel about their government and Christy Clark. So let's look at what they're looking at. We ask specific questions on what do you how are Liberals doing? Are they doing a good or bad job handling the following issues? The economy and jobs. That, until this report, was actually the most important issue that British Columbians thought faced the province. That's now actually fallen to number 2 behind healthcare. But still, it's 32% thought that the government is doing a good job with economy and jobs. You know, that's down from 40% a year ago. So although the number sounds not bad, it's not great. The problem, we haven't had the jobs we thought we would have. The economy is doing better. A bank report recently says that they do think that BC will be the fastest growing province in the next couple of years. The other issues, energy, pipelines, LNG, that includes the Kinder Morgan Trans-Canada pipeline, the Northern Gateway pipeline. Again, only 27% of British Columbians think that BC is doing a good job on that. That's down from 36% a year ago. And if you remember, 6 months ago, there was a lot of issue about the Burnaby-based Kinder Morgan Trans-Canada pipeline, so that actually had a negative effect on what people thought of the government. The environment, 26% think that the government's doing a good job. If we look at the next board, shortage of skilled workers, 19% think that the government's doing a good job. Again, that's down from 26% a year ago. And the government accountability, 15% think the government's doing a good job, down from 26% a year ago. So you can see the numbers are steadily declining in the good side of that equation. So what do people think about the decisions that the government has made? Now, pushing LNG, that was actually a big deal for when the government was elected. They said we're going to have, I think, 3 plants by 2020. We have none so far. We're still actually wondering what Petronas is going to do. They're actually going to come up with a decision, they say, in a couple of weeks. So only 32% think that the government is doing a good job pushing that. That's down from 39% a year ago. Managing BC Hydro, that was an issue a while ago, less so of an issue now. 23% think that the government's doing a good job, and that's again down from 27% 6 months ago. Managing BC ferries, remember about 6 months ago there was that question about whether they were going to actually cancel some ferry routes. The one, I think, from to Nanaimo, that, of course, turned out to be not in the plans at all. So that is actually slightly up from 6 months ago. That's the only one that's up. 13% think that the government is doing a good job with the BC ferries, up from 11% 6 months ago. And changing the law, resale of alcohol. Now, that's where they're doing their best. 41% thought the government was doing a good job with respect to that. Still less than it was 6 months ago. Then it was 47%. So down in almost every area. So in an hour, I'll actually look at what does this mean for the government. If people were voting today, how would they vote? Would the Liberals get re-elected? Well, I'll tell you in about an hour.
That's right. The polls know. So there you go.
The polls know. That's right.
All right. Thanks, Fiona. 6:48 now. Let's move things over to traffic, and here's Caitlin.